Good evening. My name is Zach Farrow, and you're watching my first vlog for the Summer Day project. I am sharing this with you because I would like to go over what it's like living with comorbid mental health conditions and chronic physical illnesses. I kind of exist in a unique place, and it's been difficult to really even conceptualize the idea that there are other people that have the same sort of experiences that I have. But one thing that working with Jennifer, as I have during and on BFF sets, is that while, everyone's is unique, everyone's special to some degree, there's nothing that's truly entirely unique. There's always someone that's going to have a similar story, have a similar experience. And I would like to add my voice to that, because I personally have spent far too long hiding my struggles, hiding the effects of living with chronic physical and mental illness. So, over the course of these vlogs in this project, I will be going over a few things. I'll probably be taking some videos in, say, like the doctor's office or a clinic as I'm waiting, and probably afterwards, after I've gotten either diagnoses or gotten advice or just gotten basic regular treatment to deal with things such as inflammatory bowel disease and fibromyalgia and the like, chronic pain, chronic inflammation in various degrees, really, but those are the two specific things there. Beyond that, that's pretty specific. I'll probably deal with, like how I have to shift my schedule around to accommodate a particular diet, how I often fail in my efforts to maintain the best diet for my health. But that's, again, I want to add my voice to the pile because I'm constantly trying to improve, and it's just easier when you have a record of those successes and failures, and when you have a place that you can actually talk to people and keep them up to date on where you are at. And I really, really, beyond physical malady, I need to stop hiding behind the idea that I need to be normal. I've dealt with chronic fluctuating depression and anxiety my entire life. As long as I can remember, it's been a constant. Now, when I was younger, it was hard to pinpoint that, and until recent years, children are often overlooked when it comes to depression and the like. And it was especially true for me because as I was growing up, I was kind of singled out for being a typical case for ADHD, when that wasn't really the whole picture, because beyond even dealing and struggling with bipolar disorder and some symptoms that kind of extend beyond that, I also am not neurotypical in the slightest when it comes. I exist on the autism spectrum as well, and it was just often overlooked because of this one single thing that, oh, that's clearly all it is. And until I started growing up, being responsible for my own health, it just wasn't something that was really dealt with as seriously as it should have been. I especially when depression is something that does tend to get worse if it's something that is chronic. You have to deal with it as it happens, or it can spiral. And I have firsthand experienced what those spirals are like. But after years of kind of being behind closed doors when it comes to like panic attacks, or when it comes to it being a particularly painful day, or a day where I don't really feel like I can eat anything, and then that tends to, both cause a depressed episode, but then also be exacerbated by it, because even if a certain food were to start to sound good, my depressed mind and the invasive thoughts that can be a part of that start to take over and make it feel as though I shouldn't eat, or why bother, or what is it really worth? Though my logical mind will be on fire, just screaming at me internally, being like, whoa, you need to eat food, it's a thing you need. And I think that's just one of the very many things that, if people don't talk about that, how is anyone supposed to know that is a different normal? And how, if you don't know that, are you then supposed to cope with it or learn new coping strategies? And having not really had the adequate resources to deal with it as well as I needed to, I would like to help be part of something for other people, so they do have at least some resources. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was lucky. I was taught some amount of psychology from a relatively young age. I studied it because I had to, and I know how to use research resources well enough that I can find coping methods. And even when I'm in an in-between period because I've moved, or because of a healthcare lapse, and I can't go see a doctor, I at least do have some sort of methods that I can use and I know that work. But again, it's not a true perfect substitute for actual healthcare. And again, that is an issue where I feel like when I was younger, had I had or known of and heard more voices talking about mental health and talking about the experience of living with prolonged chronic mental health conditions, that I may have had the agency, may have been able to more easily seen how important it was to get adequate care. But this is just my introductory video. I probably rambled throughout this a little bit, and I want to thank you for bearing with that. I think that as I record more, it will get a little bit smoother. I'll get a little bit better at talking to people about this. Like I said, this is kind of new for me, and it is entirely anxiety ridden, even coming onto a screen and talking about these things, but I need to, and I know that I do. And again, thank you everyone for watching this, and thank you to Blue Forge for providing this platform for people to share their voices so that no one has to be alone. Have a great night.